guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about the Estee Edit Gritty and Glow palette duo that they have released for this holiday season. I was actually supposed to get this palette a few weeks ago, but long story short, there was some kind of like postage mix-up and it didn't make it to me until today, which is December 1st. I'm like filming this and posting it right away, but it has made it to me now, which is the most important part. Better late than never, right? I was actually planning on like testing this out for a couple weeks and doing a more thorough review, but since it is already December 1st and this palette is limited edition, instead I just decided to test it out on camera and do more of a first impressions. I literally just got this morning. I sat down to film, I swatched it for the first time on camera, and I created this look, which is definitely something totally different than I usually do, but I think it turned out pretty cool. So if you want to know all about this set and see all the swatches and see it in action and everything, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Alrighty, so I'm just going to start off by giving you guys a quick little bit of information on this set. So this retails for $70 Canadian or $58 US, and this is a Sephora exclusive and it is limited edition. So if you want to definitely snatch it up right away, I will have it linked in the description bar down below as always to make it easy for you guys to find. So quickly on the packaging, these palettes are a lot larger than I was expecting, and the casing of them is kind of like a glitter fabric. So stunning, so festive, and it's not like a glitter that will wear off. Both of the palettes do have like a gigantic mirror in them as well, if that's something that matters to you. And then the shadows all have like a plastic overlay with the names on it, but then the names are also on the back as well, thankfully. And the pans are very large too. I was not expecting them to be this big. The shape of the pans is definitely very aesthetically pleasing, but it might be a little bit hard once you start running out to get into those little nooks and everything. The palettes are also magnetic, which I've seen a fair bit of confusion about, but it just means that they like stick together like that essentially. Before I knew that these two palettes came in a set, when I first saw this silver one, I was like, oh my god, I need this eyeshadow palette. The colors are so up my alley for every day, and this one is actually for face and eyes. So it has a lot of like peachy pink kind of shades, some coppers, some golds. And then the black gritty palette is meant just for eyes. You do still get like a few neutral shades in here as well as a shimmery black, but then some more like edgy pop of color kind of shades, like more of a teal, a blue, a kind of like deep burnt burgundy shade. So this is definitely going to be a great one for like a grungy smoky eye. One thing is that all 12 of the eyeshadows in the palettes are a pearlized shadow, so they all have some like glitter in them or at least a little bit of sheen. There are no mattes. So like I said, I just got these in today. I have not even swatched them or touched them, so I'm going to do some live swatches really quick before I jump in and actually start doing my makeup with them. So let's start off with the Glow palette. I'm going to go in with my fingers and pick up 3 of the shadows. So first impressions, they definitely feel very smooth, definitely picking up a good amount of pigment. So let's swatch. Ooh, those are nice. Definitely a very good amount of pigment. These are beautiful. That one in the center, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of like a pearl shade with like a pinky duochrome. That is stunning. So far, I'm impressed. So I picked up the 3 darker shades in the palette, so let's try out these ones. I'm just gonna do them a little bit lower here. Wow, okay, these are so pigmented. I'm looking down here because I have my mirror right below the camera. Wow, I am seriously impressed. Like, full amazing pigmentation and color payoff all across the board for this one. I love these shades. If these apply as well as they swatch, this may be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Like, these are just my perfect everyday shades. So now on to the gritty palette. I'm going to pick up these 3 shades first and do a little swatch again. They really are just like ultra smooth to the touch, but at the same time there's not like powder kicking up from them. And these ones look like they're going to be very promising once again. So oh my gosh, these are very, very impressive. The finish of these is just truly stunning. Like, look at that sheen. Alright, so going for the 3 darker shades in the palette. Wow, these are kind of blowing my mind right now. Like, I think these may be the most pigmented and smooth and just flawless shadows I have swatched in a very long time. Even the black is really nice, and it seems like it's going to be easy to blend too. I'm so excited to start applying these to my eyes, so let's go ahead and jump in. And I think I'm going to use mostly this palette for the eyes, but we'll see. And then I am going to be using this palette more for the face because I wanted to do a more bold look. I've seen quite a few like tutorials featuring this set, and everyone kind of goes for like the more neutral shades, so I think I'm going to do an eye with this as my lid color. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does have kind of a purple flash to it. I didn't notice that at first. Go big or go home. As I mentioned though, these are more like metallic, pearlized kind of finishes. So what I'm going to do first is just go in with my Tarte lip palette and just kind of like add my transition and my crease a little bit. Some people can do a full look with like metallic and like satin eyeshadows and it looks good, but you guys know I need my like crease shades. So I've already primed my lids with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance and set that with a bit of translucent powder. I'm just going to speed this up really quick as I kind of blend out my crease shades. Okay, so now that we've got a nice crease laid down, I'm just going to go straight in with that blue on a little flat shading brush and we are going to see how it applies. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but I am getting quite a bit of fallout. I think these are honestly going to do best just going straight in with my finger, honestly. I'm gonna sweep off that fallout really gently. Damn, I was hoping these wouldn't have much fallout with a brush just because they didn't seem too like powdery. They didn't have a lot of like kick up coming from them. I'm gonna have to like go in with a banana powder after to just really clean that up. So plan B, I'm just going to go right in with my finger. Yeah, okay, that is immediately way better, and that's often the case sometimes with these more metallic kind of shadows. Sometimes they just apply better with your finger because your finger is a lot more dense. Oh my gosh, that color is gorgeous. Fingers, definitely the way to go. I'm going to go and quickly blend out the edges here. I did lose a tiny little bit of color, so I'm just gonna go back in with my finger and just kind of repack that on. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and do the exact same thing to my other eye. I literally never wear blue eyeshadow because blue, in my opinion, is like the most intimidating eyeshadow color because it can go so quickly from like potentially looking really cool to looking like an 80s makeup disaster, honestly. But this shade is so unique and so beautiful. Like, this is definitely something I would wear. Just to help this kind of lid color transition into my crease a little bit more, I'm going to take this shade here from the Glow palette and just see how that works, adding a little bit to my crease. This one isn't like super glittery or anything, so I think it'll be okay. And I'm just picking up like the tiniest bit of this eyeshadow. The thing I'm noticing is when you start to kind of try and do any blending on top of these is they do kind of move around and wear off quite quickly. So probably best to just like throw this on your lid and just be done with it. Like, do your crease and everything first if you want to, but just add this to your lid and just be like done, because blending them, they really kind of lose their oomph. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly add a little bit of the blue to my lower lash line and then clean all of this up. Okay, so I quickly went ahead and cleaned up the fallout. I also just highlighted my brow bone quickly with a matte vanilla shade. I think this is really pretty, but because it's a little bit difficult to blend, it is definitely a bit more grungy and messy looking. But if you like that kind of grungy, smoky eye ones, again, you'll probably really like this. And like the lower lash line too, it just looks a little bit kind of patchy because it's hard to get that pigmentation from that shadow, at least with the brush. It just looks a little bit patchy and not quite as refined as I typically like my eye makeup to look. The fallout was pretty easy to clean up though because it was mostly glitter, and this is one of the most glittery shades definitely in both of the palettes, so maybe the other shadows would be a little bit better for fallout. I'm going to quickly curl my lashes and apply some mascara before we jump into the face. So this is what the eyes look like completed. Obviously, if you want, you could add liner, a wing, whatever you want to do. I think the overall look is really cool. This is definitely stunning, but these shadows do seem a little bit more high maintenance just in the way that they kind of wear off quickly. Like even curling my lashes, it kind of picked up some of the glitter on the outer edge. I think in future for this shadow in particular, I would probably use Too Faced glitter glue as a base just so the shadow will really stick on and not get so messy, and then also I can go in and do my additional blending and I don't have to worry about it wearing off. But I'm going to zoom out and we're going to do the face now. So after doing mascara, I just quickly bronzed up and contoured my face a little bit just because I didn't want that taking up time in the video, but I'm going to use this palette for blush and highlight. Blush, I'm a little bit nervous just because they are so like shimmery and reflective, but I think I'm going to mix together these two shades and apply them lightly. I am not too worried about texture on my cheeks showing through. It's not that big of a deal, but obviously if you do have a lot of texture that you're kind of wanting to minimize, I wouldn't recommend using this as blush. Actually, that's not too bad. Like, I'm just applying it really, really lightly, and it isn't even really drawing attention to texture because you guys know I do have acne scarring a little bit on my cheeks. I think that's actually really pretty. Like, it's giving a nice glow and it doesn't look as intense as I thought it was going to. I was kind of afraid to do that because I was like, this might just be way too much with this more intense eye, but it's really nice and it just adds like kind of the perfect amount of glow to your skin. I am pleasantly surprised, but now for highlight, I'm going to take this shade here on a fan brush. I'm feeling like a really intense highlight today, so I'm probably gonna like really pack it on. I want to glow today. I'm literally packing to move today, but I want to be glowy as sin. That is gorgeous, and especially for such a pigmented shadow slash highlight shade, it's not just like a strip of color. And I do apply highlight in here. People say you shouldn't do that because it will accentuate texture. I don't really care. I like the look of it, especially when I smile because I have such full cheeks here. I really like when the light hits right here for some reason. I think it's really pretty. Actually, I remember before I even knew what highlighting was when I was like 14, I had some product by MAC. I don't think they make it anymore. And it was a highlight essentially, and I would just like load it up right in here and that's it. And I remember loving the look of it. I'm gonna do a little bit of that on my nose as well, and my cupid's bow, and just like the tiniest little bit on my chin. I'm also going to take this and just add this to the inner corner of my eye as well. Dark shadows tend to make my eyes look really small, so I like to add this just to kind of brighten them back up. Alright, I'm just gonna go choose a lip color and I will be back in a second to share kind of my final thoughts. So on my lips, I used Me So Pretty by Too Faced. I never wear like really, really pale nudes like this, but I was like, hey, I tried something that is totally out of my usual comfort zone on my eyes. Why not do something crazy on my lips as well? And I'm sure some of you guys hate it. I actually like it more than I thought I would. It's definitely giving me like 2007 concealer lip kind of vibes, but surprisingly, I don't hate it, and I think overall the look turned out really cool. So all in all, I am saying that this set is a hit. Yes, I did have some issues with the one eyeshadow that I chose, but the shadows are so pigmented, so creamy, so beautiful that I think they're definitely worth it. And like I said, I'm sure some of the other shadows do perform a little bit better, and I am particularly very excited for the Glow palette. I can definitely see myself reaching for this on a daily basis, and I could definitely see myself bringing this on trips and everything, like out to the cabin, because it's just light and glowy and natural, and it has good shades for eyes and face as well. I am definitely impressed with this palette and would definitely recommend it. I don't know how long it's going to be around for, so once again, definitely snatch it up if you want it. I think it is totally worth it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. As I test out these palettes a little bit more, I will update on Twitter and Snapchat, so be sure to go follow me there. I'm at SARI Rihanna on both, and on Instagram as well. And hit subscribe down below if you haven't already, or if you're already subscribed, make sure to turn on your notifications. YouTube has been super glitchy lately, but I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys!